Okay, chat. What are your predictions? Do you think we'll see an SMG-12 nerf, DMR nerf, Twitch drone nerf? What buffs? I think there will be some nerfs, but I think they'll still stick to mostly buffs. 1 plus a Maru hook. That could be it.
Hey everyone, welcome to our second ever community checkpoint. I am John Spinarius, community developer here on Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm joined by two wonderful devs who I'm going to allow to introduce themselves here.
Hi, I'm Christopher Budgeon, live content director. I handle a lot of aspects such as playlists, matchmaking, progression,
PMR buff.
And I'm Joshua Mills, creative director on Siege, and I mostly just annoy Chris with a whole bunch of crazy suggestions and ideas. Now, I help lead the team in the overall vision of where we want to take Siege, and yeah.
I mean, you guys probably already seen them before if you've watched any of our reveals, but yeah, that suffice to say, we're going to go into some interesting discussions here today. And for a refresher, I guess, for those who didn't see the first community checkpoint, what we want to do here is kind of target the things that you guys are saying out on our community and our socials, you know, bringing it up in our feedback service, things like that, so that we can address the important things for you. So that being said, we do have one other person here behind the scenes again. It's Adrian Russo from our marketing team, and he is going to be observing a Siege Team League match, or an STL match. It's the internal league we have here at Ubisoft, because we not only love making Siege, we love playing Siege as well. We're passionate on all levels. And, well, right now we don't have everything going into the server just yet, but you can see Adrian just going through, yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting ready, essentially, to get going with the STL match. But that being said, we have a lot to talk about. So let's jump right into that and introduce our topics of discussion. You guys are going to see them on your screens, but we are going to start with the ranked map rotation and the mid-season balancing that we've already talked about publicly. But we're also going to go into
the hype,
the Dokkaebi remaster. Not too much details, just a little bit to get you guys a bit more context on that. New onboarding that's coming, and player protection update, a quick one there. All that being said, let's jump into our first topic, which is the new ranked map rotation. There's going to be multiple changes coming to this, so why don't we just kick things off and talk about why you're changing things up for the ranked map rotation?
Yeah, sure. So we had 16 maps for a long time, and we wanted to try a new approach. We were, you know, swapping out the maps. We were thinking at the beginning of the season and the mid-season as well, but it was our first time doing this, so we've actually learned a lot. We had announced all the maps for the full season at the beginning, purposely, because we were kind of testing the waters a little bit, and we certainly heard from our community loud and clear that some of those maps were not necessarily the competitive level that they were looking for. So basically, we've heard a couple things that are core to players. One are those new modernized maps that we brought, like Oregon, Villa. I've gone through a modernization, all the destructible ingredients getting added, for example. You know, swapping those out with less competitive maps was not really matching expectations for players, which is great to know, right? Yeah. We wanted to test the flexibility of those, you know, maybe more casual maps in the ranks for a temporary to see how that would work, and that's not necessarily something players want to see. Additionally, we have all 9 pro maps in the ranked pool, and that's really important for players, is having those like competitive maps. Those are the most competitive maps in our current scene. Yes. They get maintained within the ranked rotation.
So you talked about all this feedback you received and all of that.
Favela is still coming in, right?
Coming not only, well, let's talk about season 1 first, right? What's happening for season 1 right now, or in a few days?
Yeah, so actually it'll be coming next week. I think it'll be shortly after our 0.2 mid-season patch. So what's going to end up happening is that we're going to be adding 4 maps to that pool. So that'll be Canal, Theme Park, Outback, and Skyscraper are going to be added to the pool. So for this one time, we're going to boost the total size up to 17 from 13.
Okay, and actually we have it on your screen as well, folks, to give you an idea of visually what's happening here. So we talked about the 4 maps being added. And
they didn't add Favela! They pussied out!
Right? Yeah, so we have a new approach for rank 3.0. So we really looked at, well, I would say we've learned a lot from this first.
They pussied out!
Season 1. And so we changed basically the back end of how we're going to be able to rotate maps. So now if you picture the map ban phase, you have 5 maps that appear. Right. We're now going to be able to control those maps individually.
Oh my god, bro.
So one of those is going to be the showcased pool. So the showcase pool we'll use primarily for new maps.
But what a bunch of pussies.
Casino is coming in season 2. Now with this new showcase option, you'll actually be able to have Calypso Casino in every single map ban phase in the beginning of the season. That won't stay for the full season, but for the beginning of the season it'll be the case. And then we're going to be pulling the rest of the maps through 2 different pools. One will be the pro pool, and one will be the seasonal pool. That means we don't have to kind of counterbalance the number of seasonal maps that we have in order to, rotate against the 9 maps that we have on Pro. So for every ban phase, we'll have 2 Pro maps, Calypso Casino, and 2 seasonal maps.
Okay, and we talked about the seasonal maps a little bit. Obviously, we're not going to be pulling from the full 8, right? Is that correct? It's just going to be 4 maps that
It'll
are
be
gonna be starting?
4, and then after that, we're going to do when we do a rotation, how that's going to work is that we're actually going to be listening to the community through the ban phases. So if there's a map that's not banned very often, so Oregon is a good example, right? It's a map that doesn't get banned that often, but it's a seasonal map. It's not currently in our Pro League. That map might survive a rotation. So that we don't have to necessarily do 4 and 4 and just kind of rotate back and forth. But as we kind of grow our seasonal pool, such as new maps like Casino,
but that just keeps it more default, Andy. That sucks.
And the ones that are most banned will be the ones that get rotated out.
Okay, and is there
No,
a
that's
minimum amount of maps
awful.
you want to rotate out?
That
or
literally
is
just
it- I mean,
benefits the
obviously there's gonna be
bosses that
some
are like
rotated out. I guess
banning,
one would be the
like,
minimum, or is there something
the
else?
same
we still
maps
want
all the
seasonal
time.
flavor with those
Yeah,
mixed
exactly.
updates.
Yeah, if it's only one, it doesn't really invoke much change, and we want to be able to do that, like switch things up and kind of challenge it a little bit. I think there's a couple other things to note, like we mentioned the showcase pool. Right now, it's going to be Calypso in season 2, but later in the year, we're going to have targeted map updates.
Don't
There's
like
a chance
that.
we can actually place those maps in that slot. That's something we want to ask the community about, see what they think about that idea. So when the Villa update comes, maybe that becomes part of the showcase pool. And just to back up on another thing that I think is really important that Chris mentioned is normally the map rotation, the rank map rotation.
Yeah,
will be
that
at
doesn't
the
encourage
team
people to
update.
learn maps. That
is
just
the key
encourages
that we're
people
looking
to
for.
stick to the
Because of
same old,
adjustments
same
we're
old.
doing and because
That's
of
really
what we use
terrible.
as the seasonal surveys that we got this information from, which I think we'll dive into.
Yeah.
But beyond that, also the fact that whenever we do submissions in order to release content updates, there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah,
There's a
the
bit
pro
of a
map pool is
kind of a
wrong
run-up
because
to that,
Skyscraper is
certification
not in the
things.
pro pool.
And because of
Fortress
that,
is.
we'll actually be delaying that rotation just a little
So
bit
their
in this season.
thing
but
is
in the future,
outdated.
point 2, our rotations will hit, and it'll be it'll be awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about the feedback surveys. Let's actually jump into that, right? And you've already gone through them, correct? There's been a feedback cycle that's taken place?
Yeah, so we launched our season.
Yeah, I don't
1,
like that.
seasonal
I think
survey,
this
and
is
we've
you be
now
catering to
got
the wrong
feedback. We
people,
actually
to be
put
honest.
a number of questions in that seasonal survey about ranked map rotations.
Okay.
Skyscraper
I
was
was
on there
personally
twice.
surprised how much
Limau.
Favela was hated. I knew it was not a top map. I didn't expect the amount of hate that it got. And one thing we don't want is really impact overall players' enjoyment in the ranked pool.
Right.
So basically, what it did highlight for us is that that's a map that we wanted to be in more of a a competitive place.
Right.
So maybe it needs some reworks. Maybe we need to do a little bit of work on that map.
But that's the key aspect on why that's not showing up in the rotation that we're doing in season 1. So we were just listening to the community. We don't want that experience. It's okay. We're not going to do that. But we're going a little fun.
Well, the
by adding
community
more
is
maps.
fucking
And
dumb.
in terms of receiving feedback from everyone else,
We're catering to
what is
Gunner
the
Andes.
best
I don't
way
like
for them
that.
to get
I
their
don't
voice
like
heard?
that.
The seasonal survey is the best. Like if we had to, prioritize them, the seasonal survey is a great structured way for us to get feedback. We do also watch a lot of content creator content. We're on socials. For sure, we do workshops with our community and our pros. But at the same time, the seasonal survey is the #1 way to let players' voice be heard.
Yeah, so guys, keep
Yeah,
talking
I hope the
social
mid-season
media, keep
balancing is
making your
good because
posts on
I
Reddit,
don't
all
like
that
the
stuff,
map pool
but also,
update.
if you
I think
really
they're
want
doing the
your voice
wrong
to be
move
heard,
there.
Make sure you check out those seasonal surveys. Usually, when
I
we
think they're
have one,
doing
or
the
actually
wrong
always when we
move
have
there
one,
for sure.
Bottom right-hand corner of your screen once you launch the game, you'll see that it's coming up, or you'll see that there's an announcement for it. Click on it, send your feedback, and that is the best way to be heard on any subject that we're going to be targeting. So, all that being said, why don't we jump into check out what's happening in the STL match. I believe it's already started here. Yeah, we got Defenders winning round #1. People might not know what STL is, so maybe we should give them some context here, Josh, right?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, it's the Siege Team League.
Yeah.
So basically, internally, we run a tournament with all the developers on Siege. There are a couple there's 2 different brackets. There's recreational for maybe you just joined the team, maybe you've never played Siege before. We can get you in the recreational league. And then there's the advanced league. That's where our champion players are sitting and stuff like this. And if you have a lot of playtime, that's usually where you end up, which means
Right.
I get stomped by champion players, which is great. So, but it's a fantastic way for us to play the game together, get super excited, and kind of hold this like internal tournament. There's a trophy We have our own trophy. People's names go on it and stuff like this. And we do a live stage kind of.
I didn't care about Stadium.
finale
I
and stuff, like, there's a lot of
didn't want
celebration.
Stadium in the
Yeah,
ranked
yeah.
pool
We'll
either.
have-
But like
have drinks and
Favela
stuff
is
together, and
honestly fine, and
honestly,
it's a
you
shame
mentioned
that they
it's a
puss it
great
out
way
on
to
that.
learn.
But
Yeah.
what annoys
We
me
do
the
have,
most
new people coming
is
up
that they're saying
all
that they're
the
gonna
time,
avoid
jumping into the
rotating
SPL,
maps
you
that
have
are like
coaches,
popular.
You have, floor
I
plans
think
and
that's
blueprints of
really
the
like
maps,
bad
you
because
know
that's just gonna
who's
encourage
playing which
people to stick to
operator,
their
you know,
old
there's
ways,
a whole lot of strat.
which
and
is bad.
It really depends on who the coach
Okay.
is, because like some of the coaches are crazy. And when I say this, like most of the coaches are actually like our champ level or very advanced players, and they'll be a coach for the rec league as well, but also the advanced league. And some of them are super hardcore, where you'll show up and you'll get a folder with homework and like dossiers on all our opponents. Like the fact that I can't see people's names right now is a little frustrating, because I could use this to like pull strats off of what they're doing and then use it against them. But I know my team's already watching this, so we'll be all right.
You've got people researching. We take it seriously, folks. It's not a joke here, this deal. But yeah, let's jump back into our discussion here on mid-season balancing now. We want to talk about
Okay,
this.
okay.
It's gonna be
This
interesting.
is
And also
potentially
for the
peak.
First time telling you what's changing here
Okay.
in the 1.2 balancing patch. And I guess for the first topic here, Josh, how many operators are being targeted?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, this is the mid-season patch. So this is a major balancing update. We have 2 of these per season, one at the season launch and then one mid-season, which is happening very soon. So you can expect bigger changes here, stuff that has more impact, kind of changes an operator's position within their overall impact of the game as well. So we are actually bringing 8 operators are being modified.
Okay.
Okay.
And, what's the most important factor when you're
Hey, Figaro.
selecting the operators to
You
modify?
hype too?
Well, I kind of mentioned it right there about impact. So all our operators should have impact, and they should have it in specific scenarios. We don't want one operator just being the one size fits all and be able to do everything. But we want every operator to have their moment to shine, their scenario to shine, so that when you're getting the good intel, you're getting the read on the team. Maybe you're deep into the back and forth of a ranked match, and you've kind of got the essence of what this team's doing, so you can start pulling out the strats. that are gonna
Quality,
make a
not
difference
quantity,
to
chat.
close out the match for you.
We want big
This is the
changes,
stuff that
not
matters.
many
Like,
changes.
When you play those cards, when you bring out those ops. So ultimately, it's making sure each one of our operators can take space within the game and very specifically own that space as well.
I like
Okay.
that though, because
And
I
we
do
have a
feel like
lot of
most operators are
being
viable.
total that are being targeted here. Why don't you give me a top 3 of the ones you feel have the most significant changes, starting with number 3, let's say.
Number 3. Okay. All right.
Or maybe number 1, actually.
Well, I mean, it'll differ between people, obviously.
so,
Like, I
right?
know which one's mine, so I'll say which one's mine when we get to it. But we'll start off with a big one, because there's multiple changes happening to this operator, which is Rorora.
Yes.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, she has this Dom panel launcher.
Yeah.
It's a device that allows her to close down doorways and take a lot of control as an attacker, which is fantastic.
True.
Some of the big adjustments here, and when you
Ooh!
look at the device, it's been very
Okay.
kind of shared between attackers and defenders.
Longer
What
range,
I mean
it's-
by that
it's
is if a
nice.
defender can utilize it against that.
Nothing
attacker
crazy,
if
but
they're
it's
clever,
nice. Call it
and
a
kinda
life.
play around it. But what we're doing
Okay.
here is really trying to center it back to being an attacker-sided gadget, so it's more responsive to our attackers and more reliable for the attacking side of the fight.
It's nothing that really changes the power
On
level.
top
It
of
just
that,
makes her more
comfort stuff
nice.
going into it and allowing her to take that ground faster. One big thing is the range is being increased pretty dramatically,
Okay.
from 15 meters up to 25.
Oh!
And the biggest factor here is instead of having one panel to start, she's actually getting all 4 right off the bat.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
That's
so she can move
nice.
very quickly, deploy these very, very fast. And just a pro tip for anyone using her.
Very nice.
It's a real projectile, the actual Dom panel. So if you don't hold your line of sight well enough or hold the angle kind of weird.
Oh, it
it's
takes
actually
so
gonna keep
long
you
to
focused.
open!
So make sure you've got your line of sight. So
Okay, that's nice. That's nice as well.
Okay, we have our number
Jesus
1
Christ.
Rorora, and you
Okay.
guys can see on your screen some of these changes we just discussed, right? In terms of it's significant.
All right,
in
all right.
terms of
It's
how
nice.
quickly
I
it
still
works
want the alarm though.
for attackers
Well,
versus defenders.
yeah, like what's on the screen right now, we're saying opening, closing for. up
Okay,
to
so
6
that's it.
seconds from
So
3.
longer
Well,
range,
in video games, 1 second is a lifetime.
Yes.
and we just
faster
tripled that.
deployment,
So, like, so 6
faster
seconds is
closing for
faster.
allies,
And
and when
it can
defenders
really
open it,
stop
it
you
takes
from getting caught off
fucking
guard.
2
Also-
business
also
days
from
for it to
timing
open.
better.
Okay,
So
that's
when you put the panels
nice.
up, thinking in your head, okay, it'll
Okay.
be just time before something can come.
We're
through.
eating good.
So
I still
yeah,
want the alarm
it's-
though, but
it's a big
that's
shift
that's
in it,
nice.
and I'm looking forward to seeing folks kind of jump into like
their head.
using her.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Cool. What about number 2?
Number 2.
Okay.
So again, no particular order
I know,
on
we're
these,
just
but
saying
this is the one I think is the big impact one, right?
Okay.
Ultimately, it's the fact that we're bringing an update to Smoke,
Yes.
and we are reissuing his deployable shield.
Oh!
So
Back.
it's back.
Smoke
it's
shield
pretty big
back.
deal. Smoke has had this in the past. It makes him a really
Okay.
strong anchor. Allows
All
him
right.
to do carry a lot of weight for the team, and also allows you to change your lineup. So you
Okay.
don't have to bring that extra operator that's bringing the shield. So really excited to have this come back.
And what about the third operator then?
The third, this one's fun too, is Jackal. We're actually
Okay.
diving into Jackal here and updating.
Oh, they're
on
giving
how
this
he
back
can
to him.
Essentially, get the scans to work, and it's playing with verticality. Verticality. Is
They
a huge
removed
thing
this
in
at one
Siege.
point,
It's something
but
we
I
wanna
guess now
embrace
they're
more,
bringing
and
it
it's
back.
also an advanced skill in Siege, in most FPSs in general, because of the destructibility of the environment.
Yeah.
In this case, Jackal can use that shotgun, open up the floor, and then start scanning footprints
Yeah.
from underneath, which allows him to have.
But
A,
like
advantage
still,
to
why would I
give
do
that
this when I
intel
can
to
go
his teammates
Deimos and
who
shoot
maybe
them
have hotels on
underneath, you
windows
know?
or holding
I still feel like
the
it's
actual floor
eh.
above, but also he's getting a set of frag grenades.
Oh!
So he becomes.
Oh, but
a
Deimos
bit of a
also has
menace
frag
from
grenades.
down below.
So
All right, I love playing Jackal, so I'm excited about that change for
it's
Jackal.
nice, but
the
it's.
C70.
I still feel like it's not
Love that.
really
With the
enough.
secondary shotgun is going to come in
yeah.
clutch now.
All right.
Like, yeah,
And,
exactly,
I
like
mean, we've
Snake
got
and
booster
Deimos
operators
exist, so, like,
covered.
this
However, we
isn't-
do have other changes
isn't
coming. We already
really good
talked about,
enough.
5 other operators, and I think they're not as
Like
significant, but
right,
still
like
interesting
Deimos'
in their own
gadget
way.
and Snake's gadget
Yeah,
are just
so,
better.
These changes are definitely focused on quality of life.
What if
and
they
kind
ban
of,
Deimos?
more
Yeah,
fun. Like,
decent
they're smaller
replacement, I
changes
guess,
to give you
but
that
yeah.
extra little bit of comfort that you kind of look for, and you can feel that resistance sometimes when you're playing a game. And right off the bat, we're looking at Glass. When you scope in with his scope, there's when you're moving, it'll get fuzzy. Everyone
Yeah.
kind of has experienced this. It normally takes about 12 seconds to fully lose its image. We've bumped that up to 15. So you have a little bit more time to keep that movement going and be able to kind of move a bit, stop, get that control, reset it, move a bit, stop, get that control, reset it.
Okay, so quality
again,
of life for
quality of
Glass.
just giving you a little bit more functionality. And 12
Okay.
to 15, again, 1 second to lifetime, it can make a big difference. Outside of that, we have an update for Clash. The taser will be actually increased by 5 seconds, so it'll last a little bit longer.
Okay.
Just to give her that extra little bit of flexibility there.
Nice.
Grim. Okay, we got to talk about Grim.
Needs a buff.
Yeah, more buffs. No. Okay, so here's the thing. Nerfs are not gone. And that's the thing that we have to kind of address and look at. But the one thing is the day of doing multiple nerfs that are really heavy-handed, that is gone.
Okay.
Unless
Okay.
there's an emergency. And I want to be very clear about that. Because our whole mantra going into balancing is we want to embrace the fun. We want to have an enjoyable experience for everyone. But we want to be competitive. This is Siege, and we take the game serious, and we want to be kind of locked in. So occasionally we are going to have to nerf stuff down, bring things in a line a little bit.
Right.
And we're doing
That's
that
fair.
with Grim. This is for more high-level play as well. So basically, when you shoot the canister, there's 2 stages to it. It shoot it out, and then it deploys the actual payload that has the bees in it. During that deployment, that payload is vulnerable. You can shoot it.
yeah.
We're increasing the window in which you're going to be able to take it down.
Okay, I like
so
that.
Again, if
That's a
you
good
see
change.
Bailiff opens up while on site and lobs one of these into the
So now you
site,
can actually
you're
shoot
gonna
the
have a
canister
chance to
before it
deal with
deploys.
it.
Okay, that's
At
nice.
least a bigger window to deal with.
The
Okay.
audio cue as well for that when that
Yeah.
canister. Yeah.
Like the
Okay,
click,
I
click,
like
and then
that.
the boom. Or,
Good
well,
change.
depending if it's a bank shot or if it's a sticky, yeah, it can change. Next we have Frost.
Yes.
So Frost, obviously, if you land in one of these traps, you're not having a good day. But like, if you pull yourself out of the trap, you get a 60-second debuff, which
Yeah,
makes
it's
you
pretty
wet,
heavy.
makes you leave a trail, and makes you make a lot of noise. You're kind of dead to rights at this point,
Yeah.
usually. But yeah, we're just gonna twist the knife more. We're adding 10 seconds to that debuff. So it's 70 seconds if you get caught in one of these traps and self-revive. It's again to encourage folks to help each other. Yes, if your teammate's in the trap, pick them up. They don't get the debuff if that's the case. Or B, just don't.
10 seconds is quite a
don't go
bit
in the
still.
trap in the first place.
Right.
So that's kind of the aspect there. And then last we have Thunderbird.
70
well, healing in
seconds.
Siege is always an interesting one, and one of the key things is rate
Yeah,
of
healing
This
sucks.
is something we've been looking into a bunch. So we're adjusting the rate of healing of our Kona stations from
Okay.
2 HP a second to 3. So you'll actually get the full health a lot faster, and you will get the full health as long as you don't take more damage. That's the feature.
Okay, I mean Thunderbird's
I
still
think
bad.
also this is,
Uh,
I guess, a
They
representative
need some
shift
sort
in
of like
mentality
secondary
from
effect on the
balance. This is
healers
not
like
going to
Finka,
be
where
the
it's
last
like
time we do
it
mid-season
gives you
balance. This
something
is now a
else as
permanent
well.
thing that we're going to be looking at every season, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, we're
that's
going to be
meh.
doing the mid-season balancing as well as when we launch. Also, we have 2 refines per season, so we've been doing a lot of buffs and we've been doing a lot of updates,
Yeah.
and it's going to keep going. So it's even we're doing a big mid-season now. 3 weeks later, we're going to be doing a refine balancing, and then after that, S2
Yeah,
comes,
only
another
really
big
the
major
Aurora
balancing
thing
is
got
gonna
me
be done
like
with that
kind of
season as well.
hyped.
So there's a lot coming, and the game is changing often.
Most of it was also just quality of life
It's
stuff.
exciting, personally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big thing for us to be able to deploy updates every 3 weeks, because that's ultimately what we're doing, and have access to that from like.
The frost change is
a
just
live
that the
service
debuff
approach
lasts 10
is
seconds longer on
incredible. It
you.
allows us to be more reactive if a situation arises, but also allows us to.
Well, they
plan
said 8
stuff,
operator
like,
changes,
kind of
Antoinette.
further
They
out.
haven't said gun
Make
changes.
Touch points with our community through those surveys, or even seeing them in person at different events, and be able to bring that feedback in faster because we actually have access to it. We're able to do that. I think one thing to note though is that even though I won't leak all the changes we have coming because there's so much stuff coming, but the reality is if we do massive drops of like 50 changes or something like that, we lose track of how we can actually track the game and understand what's.
It's not
impacting
really
it.
about, again, it's
So
not about
important that we are
quantity of
staging that
changes,
stuff
it's
in order to
quality.
react to the impact
Only
of
really the
stats,
Aurora
because
change
when
feels like
we,
something that gets me
really
like,
is
wow, I
deep
want to
into
jump on
Siege,
the game right now and
one
play it,
factor
you know?
can have a cascading effect across multiple operators and just multiple sites and kind of do this thing. So we need that data to kind of
Like, none of the
solidify.
changes are bad, it's just, there's
Speaking
only
of data,
one that
you have
excites
testing
me.
grounds that you've used in the past, right? For other types of changes, is this something you would consider for these balancing elements, or is it just more of the live approach and taking this like slower approach to it, right?
Yeah, I think with testing ground, well, when we talk about our balancing and everything like
Right.
this, one of the big thing is like we've had the opportunity of doing workshops with players at say the major and the SI and stuff like this. Getting stuff in players' hands early, getting the feedback, that's one way we can do that, especially with balancing. When it comes to testing grounds, this is more systemic level changes. Speed and armor was the one that we had tested first, and then, I mean, we have half reinforcements coming later this year. These are systemic things, and even with half reinforcements, it's really about how does that fit in the system? Where is it going to go? But that's the avenue we want to apply testing ground kind of that platform for. But yeah.
Okay, and I guess next question is, what's your ideal outcome, right? All these changes are coming through, you're watching what's happening. What's the best thing that can happen out of all this for each operator, for example?
I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy, but just that people are having fun. Like,
Makes sense.
this is honestly what it all comes down to is that as much as Siege is super competitive and we want to take it serious, like it's still a video game, it's still entertainment, and it needs to be that first. And we need to have fun with it. And that's fundamentally what we want to strive towards is that you're not booting up the game and being frustrated the whole time you're playing, but you're having a great time. You can't wait to play with the squad. You can't wait to see what that next update is. Like, I mean, I know I'm beyond stoked about rank 3.0. Like that's the reality of it. And then just to make it a point of joy in your life. Because it's a hard game. We know this, and we'll talk about that a little later with onboarding stuff. But like,
Yeah, I don't know.
The reality is, we just want you to have fun when you're playing.
Okay, did you want to say?
Well, like I was just saying, like
I would have said I
the
had higher
changes to the maps, the
expectations.
ranked map rotations, the changes to the
Only the
balancing,
Aurora thing
the game
is
evolving
exciting
at
to
a
me.
faster pace than ever. Like just the Jackal change, you know, being scanned from Jackal from below, and then being able to play off of like a Jackal scan with communication within your team. Like it's one element, but then being able to do that on different maps within ranked. The game is changing at such a fast pace that we're still kind of, you know, testing the waters on like the rate of all these kind of changes coming in, and do players, you know, do they want more? Do they want less?
I feel like
and
the frost
I know
change
we're
is
also
fine.
looking at like, you know, weapons.
Like
as
none of
well
the
as,
changes
like,
are
the
bad.
different types of weapons that are
It was
you know,
just
being discussed
only
within the
one is
community
exciting.
and how to make those changes appropriately. So we are listening to the community.
I think that's a really good point to mention, though, is the fact that the rate of change. This is a significant adjustment.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
The map pool changes are kind of meh. I was kind of excited to play like Favela and get like something new to like sink my teeth into.
Community's reacting to it,
And like, yeah, the Aurora is nice, but again, like most of the Aurora stuff was just quality of life too.
Community's talking about, and I won't leak.
And everything else is basically quality of life stuff too. Like, yeah, some longer duration here or there, but like nothing that really changes like numbers wise.
But like
Smoke having a shield
we
is
know, like,
nice too,
Iona,
but
Knock,
yeah.
Sophia, these are operators that players are giving us feedback on, and we're actively digging into them.
Okay, cool. And I think something else that's really interesting about these changes, right, is that it can also change the meta a little bit in terms of the way people play, and maybe people might start exploring new operators. Is that kind of the intent here, or is it just kind of a nice side effect? How are you looking at it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we.
That's the
are
problem here,
looking
though.
to
Like
kind of,
again,
mix
like
things
I don't feel like
at
this
the end
makes
of
me
the
want
day.
to try
Smoke
some of the
having
operators that
shield
got
back,
changed.
Now smoke might be played. It was
Right,
played a
like
lot before
most
when
of
you
them
had the
just make like
shields,
if you're
yeah,
already
that's
playing
back.
them and like
All of a
okay
sudden,
cool
smoke
they're
played
like
more often,
slightly
so you have that
stronger
stalling
now.
techniques that are coming
But there's
into
nothing that
play
are like
over
wow
and
oh
over
Clash
and
has
over.
5 more
So that,
seconds.
like,
Like
all
I
these
really
things
want to
just
play
keep
Clash
changing
now,
and
guys.
evolving,
Like
and
right
then
like
we
that's
get
not what
to
it's
play
doing.
and almost like kind of counter through different buffs.
I feel like most of these
operators
changes are only
are
nice
now
if you're
being brought
already
into that
playing the
rotation,
operator. It's
and,
not getting
on
you
the
to play
field
the
and can make a
operator,
difference.
which is what it should be.
All right. Well,
Right.
That being said, we talked about fair. We talked about maybe a little frustrating sometimes for some operators, and yeah, there's one operator, of course, that is fun to play, but sometimes can be frustrating to go against, and that is Dokkaebi, right? And that's why, we got this.
Yeah,
Dokkaebi
exactly. They
remaster
could have
announced.
made the
A
clash
lot of
snap
people viewed
stronger
it, and they
instead.
saw it and said, "Well, this looks
Instead
like
of
a
making
nerf."
it just last longer.
What was
It's
the
nice
reason
again,
change
like it's
target?
quality of
Is
life, but
it
again, it
basically
doesn't
what I
make me
just
like,
summed
wow, I
up,
want to
or-
jump on and play Clash tomorrow.
It's in part
You
of
know,
that.
when it's coming out.
With all remasters, we have a very specific kind of approach, which is we've exhausted all of their balancing levers to really bring them in line and alleviate the problems we're seeing, which Dokka had a huge frustration problem around her. The fact that one operator with one charge of a primary gadget can affect an entire opposing team and in multiple ways. Like, she can reveal your location, making you an easier target to kill, give away any strategy of stealth or something like this, if that's what you're trying to do. And then if she hacks a phone, say goodbye to all your primary gadgets if you're Maestro, Echo, or Valkyrie. And that's multiple gadgets just off the board, or now liabilities, not to mention BPCs and everything else. So it was a huge power space in which he was holding. The thing is, just using the same mentality of balancing is like, we don't want to strip her of the fun. She is an absolute hacking mastermind, and we want to make sure she maintains that and keeps that essence alive, and really shows up in a big way and has, again, controls that impact, because she needs to have that impact. Just maybe not as global with how she was attacking everything all at once.
I think the important thing, right, is that you're maintaining her essence, correct?
Yeah. So I think there's a couple of interesting things that are happening, especially with Dokka, is when we look at her, we have a bit of a new approach too, where narratively, a lot's happened to her. She was captured by carries and she went through a lot of stuff. So that'll change you, and it kind of evolve the way you look at the world and how you go about it. And we've initialized that into the character development of her remaster. So because of those events, she is taking a different approach on how she does what she does. It's very targeted, it's very precise, and I'll spoil everything, but I won't.
No, we won't
gotta
spoil
hold the
anything. Guys, if you want more information on the Dokkaebi Remaster, it will be revealed with the Season 2 reveal happening at the Major in Salt Lake City. So make sure you tune in for that for all the details there. But we'll end that discussion for now before maybe Josh says something we shouldn't say. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's go into a discussion now on future remasters, right? Are there any others that are coming?
Yeah, well, we announced that we're actually doing another remaster for Season 4. This is our final remaster. We announced it at the SI.
Right.
Being that we won't go into the same kind of caliber of saying, hey, remaster this season, brand new op this season. Going to year 12, it's a new op every season. So this is our final remaster. The concept of reworking an operator isn't gone, though. And I want to make that clear. Like, we've kind of gotten to the point where we still have levers on our operators to kind of play with, but a rework of the past may still return, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. And
It just won't take up its own season. That's good. I like that.
I think the core part is, even though we're going to new operators every season, we're not going to be neglecting those other operators. And if some needs a little bit more heavy lifting to kind of get the job done, we're still up for that task.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I think as far as teasing for my own personal health, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Fair enough. Actually, one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit more is you mentioned that, remasters probably won't be happening, but you're still going to pull some levers, right?
Yep.
In terms of balancing in the future. So it might not be a remaster, but there'll still be changes that could be made. Perhaps like Aurora, for example, a lot of different changes coming through for her, and it's not really necessarily a remaster per se, correct?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, she's a great example, but even I always keep going back to Thorn, but a pretty strong one where those are levers built into her already, and we were able to revamp how she's played in the game, and really, honestly, I think bring her to where everybody felt she should be.
Yeah, she's Pro League, like,
it's
a big change from where she was.
So that was a pretty big deal to be able to do that, and that is using the levers we have in place, because every time we build a new operator, like everyone that's in development right now, the key aspect is to have multiple levers in place so that we can continue to tune them as the game evolves, because we know it's going to evolve. Players are going to get better. They're going to change out their strategies. We want to be able to be reactive. And the key way of doing that is making sure we have those levers in place. So even from a new operator design point of view, we've adjusted the way that we kind of do our new ops.
Fair enough. All right, and well, we are already seeing on your screen, guys. We're jumping back into the STL match to see what's going on here. And do you know which teams are? Oh, drone. There we go. Drone Speedsters up against Expendos. I love the names. Any research that you're going to be doing on? Are you going to be facing these guys? You have a match later, right?
Like I want
do have a
to see
match.
the
As soon as I'm
full
done
patch
this, I have
notes.
to like pack my stuff at my desk and then run
yeah, I
home
don't know.
because I have my match.
It kind of just
but
feels like the minor
the thing-
patch
the fun
plus
part
the
about
Aurora
names, too,
change.
is that the names are they carry over season to season.
Like a couple
So
of
the
like
players
minor
swap out, but the
changes
name
and then like
remains.
one
So they
change
become
that
part
is
of the
like a
legacy
little
of the
exciting.
team. Which
History there.
yeah, and there's like Discord channels that we're talking in and stuff. But the funny part about that is the team I shouldn't say this because if they're watching, but the team I'm going against today, I'm still in their Discord channel.
Oh, John.
Oh,
Evil.
Inside intel.
I didn't check. I didn't check.
Uh-huh.
But I'm saying maybe on the way home. We'll take a look.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that being
It's a
said, let's
spy.
jump into our next topic here. And I mean, this kind of ties in with what we're doing at STL. You know, we have that more recruit league that's coming through. And obviously, we're always looking at ways to make people feel more comfortable when they're onboarding. And, you know, that's what's happening here with this new onboarding experience, Chris, that's going to be coming through. That being said, there was already an onboarding system in place. It was working. It seemed to be working. Why change it now?
Yeah, so onboarding is what we call an ever active topic.
Right.
It's never going to go away for Siege. The skill floor is just too high. As much as we try to lower it through all the different onboarding changes and so on, it just remains a very high skill floor. We
True.
try to adjust the skill floor without touching the skill ceiling because that's what makes Siege.
Unless you're
Siege,
Muda and
is
you
that it
just
has a very
cheat.
high skill ceiling. So one of the key aspects that we've been really looking at is, you know, how do we continue to improve? We've actually seen a lot of improvements, especially starting in Season 4. We had bot teammates that had shown up. That's working very well. We had the Clear House that got added, a great PvE way to learn
True,
maps.
Clear House is great.
We had the mini map appear for the first time. We have a lot of different improvements that have been slowly rolling out. And we have seen a lot of big gains. But yes, we are going to be adding a new feature coming in Season 2.
And what does the new onboarding plan look like, I guess, my question then.
So it's centered around our bots. So our bots are machine learning bots, as you might remember. So that means we don't have a designer telling the bot how to behave or where to place a gadget or where to go roam or so on. We actually feed it live player data, and then the bots just act out that data. So where to place the gadgets, where to roam, where to anchor, you know, which weapon to use, which secondary to use. All of this is actually dictated directly from the bots themselves. So for the first time, we're actually going to be bringing bots into Quick Match exclusively for new installs only.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you've just installed the game, you've never played Siege before, there's a chance in your very, very first matches of Quick
Yeah, I
Match
mean,
that you'll
that's
be able
whatever.
to play against a bot match.
Yeah.
The reason why we're doing this is we still struggle against putting new players into our existing PvP pool.
Right.
Yeah.
Going up against Quick Match, it's very, very difficult for us to, you know, give them or tweak with them a positive
Yeah,
experience.
like I mean, given some of the players that are
Basically, a
already
lot
in
of our
quick match and
players,
early
even
game
if we
lobbies,
try
there won't
with
really
our,
be
you know,
that big of a
skill-based
difference.
matchmaking or, you know, trying to incorporate with clearance level,
whatever.
it still has limitations because players.
I mean, it's not like it
practice, they
affects
know
any one of us
operators, they know
either,
how to
right?
play
Like, so, like,
encounter,
I don't know.
and new players just get destroyed basically.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I used to play at the beginning of Siege, and then I hadn't played for a long time, and then I started again, and I was like, oh my god, I'm getting
A lot of
absolutely
ups.
destroyed. So yeah, this is a really good opportunity for like that to be a little bit slower and like just introducing you slowly to everything that's going on, as opposed to like just getting absolutely destroyed immediately as you're jumping in. So yeah, there's multiple phases, right, of this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, absolutely. There's phase 1. So phase 1 is again, this is exclusively for new installs that have never played before. They will play against with bot teammates going up against a team of bots. After they play a couple matches,
It's
they go to phase 2,
just a
where they
game
have
where it's
players on
5
their
bots
team and
versus
they're going
5
up against
bots.
And then finally phase 3, which is an
Whoops.
improved matchmaking that we're trying with, you know, including clearance level as a higher value to try to
Oh,
match
he's
those
snaking
two
it.
players together.
He's snaking it.
So this is something that we're testing. I do know, and I'm aware that it's a sensitive topic. You know, bringing bots into Quick Match. Again, it's
I think it's
exclusively
fine.
only for new installs, new players.
Like the
but
fact that it's
we are
only for
talking
new
today
players, that's
with our, you
completely
know, most
fine.
active community.
I'd get if people were
So
pissed if it
there's
was like to
opportunities
quick match in
where players
general.
see,
That I'd understand
for
if
us
people
to
were pissed
maybe bring
over.
bots into
But
other
for just new
situations.
players, okay,
We're open to
whatever.
listening to it. We're also, I'm okay to come back to a live stream like this and say how it went. This is a test that we're doing in Season 2 with those new installs, with those new players, and let players know how did it
fine.
go. But thinking about situations, right? Like
Man rank.
right now we don't backfill if it's match point and quick match. So sometimes you end up in like a 5v3 or even worse. In that was quick matches. And what ends up happening is that it just encourages other players to leave, and then the match just kind of falls apart. And sometimes it was a good match. So maybe there's an opportunity for there in match point to backfill with bots potentially. That's just one example. Another example could be I'm a player that hasn't played for years, and I come back to Siege. Maybe it's okay to have a couple bot matches to kind of warm up in that experience. But again, that's not what we're doing with Season 2. With Season 2 is just, I've never played Siege before. I click on PvP, you might get a bot match.
Okay. And by the way, guys, if you want to see stuff like that, like what Josh just mentioned in terms of bots, please let us know in the chat. We might do a seasonal survey at some point. Who knows? But yeah, we're always listening. We're always watching. We're always seeing what you guys want to have in the game. So
also, if I don't mind, just one more thing. Again, we are talking to our most active community today. So I'll just say, how do I identify a bot?
Yeah, I think that's important.
So there's 3 ways that you can identify if it's a bot that's that you're playing against. One is there's a number at the start of their name. So that's one of the giveaways, is that bots would always start with a number at the beginning of their name. Another one is you can't add them as a friend. And another one is you can't report them. So those buttons are just missing on the
Whoa,
like
I can't
player
report the
profile
bots for
panel,
griefing.
so that's like a telltale sign of it's a bot. Once again, it's only for new players, new installs. Ideally, players are not smurfing. But if you want to see what are those signs for, is that a bot or not, those are the telltale signs.
Fair enough. And I guess another thing that's important with these bots, or maybe it's not important, I'm just curious, like, do you feel like they're representative of how a human might act in a real game?
Yeah, they're getting better. Honestly, we have a full team.
I mean, given some of the people I play in ranked, they're probably fairly accurate.
By season, adding new bots to play as, or new operators that you can play against. Like there's some operators like a zombie that's been very difficult for us to bring into the bots matches. But ultimately they are improving. And do they replicate player behavior? Yes, because they're given player behavior to play off of. So they're basically kind of replicating very common situations.
Yeah, I could just tell that there's gonna be people like shit talking the AI.
I think I have. Yeah.
And they won't realize that they're just talking to a clanker.
So, can you skip these phases?
They just write like GN in the chat and then they spawn peek a bot.
So for
And they're like
season 2,
acting
the answer
tough.
is no. And the reason why, again, it's a test. We're wanting to see
Oh,
what the value
God.
is on having those bot matches at the beginning of a player's journey. So encouraging that we do
Oh
have
no, that's wild.
the data ultimately on reflecting our players playing more matches. Are they sticking around? Are they falling in love with the uniqueness of Siege? Those are interesting data points that we really want to learn. So in Season 2, the answer is no, but for the future, we'll discuss. And again, I'm happy to come back and report back on how the test went.
Absolutely. And I think we already covered this next one that I was curious about, but like, will bots be introduced in regular game modes, or is it strictly for onboarding? But you already mentioned, right? That's
Yeah,
something
Oh,
that was
he doesn't know.
exclusively for new installs.
Yeah, exclusively for new
excuse me.
installs. And that's it. So
On your
yeah, I
left,
think
Dokkaebi,
that
you
pretty
called
much
him.
covers up our
Oh, your
our
team killed.
conversation on that one. But one more conversation, one more topic we kind of want to go through is player protection. You know, kind of an update on what
Oh,
was happening
Shibal.
previously, right? And what we talked about previously, and let you guys know how it's
Good
going.
refrag.
So I guess my question to you then, Chris, is how are things going? Is there any updates you want to share?
Yeah, so last time we did a community live stream, it was 100% focused on player protection. Actually, no, we touched on testing grounds as well,
Yes,
but
yes.
mostly it was on player protection. So ultimately, we announced that we were going to start banning on Mousetrap, and I'm happy to say that we have started banning on Mousetrap. We've been banning our worst offenders. We've been banning those that are showing other telltale signs of being a bad actor within our community, and Mousetrap bans have begun. Additionally, we did a major update to Mousetrap, and we found it to be 6 times more effective identifying a mouse and keyboard in a console pool. We're well aware that there's more work to do in terms of detecting recoils. We mentioned last time in the community live stream, we are actively working on this, and we'll have more to announce soon. But for M&K on consoles, so players playing mouse and keyboard in consoles, we've started the ban phase, and we've been improving our systems.
And are there any other updates? I know last time we talked about toxic behavior and monitoring text chat and voice chat. Has anything changed there?
Yeah, so last time we talked about the sensitivity levels. Like, not all players have the same sensitivity levels. What we've done is just basically taken a big step back in terms of how sensitive the systems have been. Players are likely noticing that they're getting flagged less often, right, than for the
I haven't
chat,
been flagged a single time.
communications. Also,
I haven't even
completely
seen
stripped
someone
away
get
the
like
idea of
warning
something it's
in the text chat
slightly
now.
offensive or moderately offensive.
Like I've
We
seen some
just
people
said,
be muted
just let that, oh, we
automatically or
don't see
whatever,
that
but I
yellow
haven't
text
seen
anymore that
anyone
says, hey,
like
maybe
get
this is
full on
offensive.
like
Yeah.
We just remove that idea
stopped.
altogether. There's one other thing that we've been working on, which is we've been trying to detect positive communication. So players that are making callouts, players that are saying, you know, upstairs, you know, downstairs, you know, big tower, like those are strong positive callouts that are helping with the match. That's being a good teammate. So if players check the reputation center, they're likely going to see they're getting flagged for positive communication at a much higher rate than they were in the past.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Always important to have that be reinforced, right?
That's right.
Anything else you want to share regarding player protection before we move on?
I think the key part is that like it's again an ever active topic for us. It's a mouse and cat game. We're always going to be updating our systems. We have a team that's fully committed to it. We've been ramping up. We had a lot of big wins, and it's going to be
Over
a
there.
topic that we're always going to be committing to fight against.
That's a strong
And
call
there's
out.
going to be up and downs, but stick with us.
Oh, you
because
guys
we
gotta get
are
vert on that
100%
mirror.
committed to that
You
fight.
guys gotta get
Sounds
vert
good.
on the
All
mirror.
right. That does wrap up our
Oh
coverage
my
here. And I promise,
God.
guys, I haven't. Oh, yeah, I am there. Okay. Hey. I just thought my camera wasn't seeing. We're seeing a lot of STL coverage coming through, though. But yeah, if you guys have any questions that you want to ask in the chat, please do so now. If you already have been, we've been monitoring, we've been collecting them. So we're going to go through those soon. Before we do, we have some pre-submitted questions that we want to cover here, and we'll go through them. Guys, feel free, whoever wants to answer them. I'm just going to throw them out there. So first question is, and we may have already answered some of these, but is there a possibility of ranked map rotations while also removing the ban system?
So right now
Ooh.
we're not looking at removing the ban system. We like the idea that
Boo.
it has some player agency in the match.
But
so
the
players
players
can
are
kinda choose, okay, I
stupid.
want to avoid that map, but I want to play on this map, etc. So we still feel the map ban phase has a place. I mentioned earlier in the discussion, we are
Oh
updating
my
the
God,
rules on how
bro.
we populate those maps. You know, a showcased map, X amount guaranteed to be pro maps, and so
Yeah,
on.
no, I mean.
So that's something that we are actually bringing for Season 2 with Rank 3.0. But as of right now, we're not removing the ban phase.
Okay, fair enough. And then on the Dokkaebi remaster, I'm not sure if we can answer this question, but I'm going to put it through anyway. If you can't, just tell me. So far, it looks like Deimos, where you choose someone and call them directly, which I think we kind of teased at SI, right?
Yeah. So
Don't have to go into too much.
I won't go into too much, but yeah, she's definitely. It's not the global call ability is the thing that we talked about at SI being removed. She no longer calls everybody all at once, but we have to look at Dokkaebi's full kit. She had more functionality than just calling people. She could hack into the network, and that had functionality. So there's other aspects that are existing in her kit on what she can do, and of course, like the effect of what she's doing and how is that effective compared to say a Deimos. Where is that intel coming from? How is that being communicated? These all change those different vectors. She's still a hacking expert. I think that's the best way to do it with threading the needle here.
Okay, fair enough. Next question, kind of very heavily focused on player
Map
protection
bans
here.
phase
When will
should
we
be
seeing
4
bans
year,
for
Nate.
macros
No,
and
because if it's
auto
less
switch?
maps, it becomes
Yes,
even
we know it's a big
more
topic. We are
basic
actively working
default
on it.
as. So definitely
we're-
not. No.
We mentioned last time we actually had some partnerships with some pro teams that kind of really helped us gather some recoil data, especially on PC. So we'll be bringing it to the PC pool first, and then the console pool after will be looked at. It's something. It's a big topic for us. We're actively working on this.
Okay, and the next question is actually pretty much the same thing, so we're going to move past that one. And then are ranked map rotations already being changed here? And we discussed that already.
Yeah, it's likely based on our seasonal survey where
Yeah.
we kind of tease the fact that this season we're adding maps instead of swapping. And yeah, we did get cold feet on bringing some of those casual maps into ranked. But also, we're listening to our community. Like, we had the seasonal survey
But the
out there.
community is
Taking
stupid.
Favela as an example, over 70% of players said this would negatively affect my ranked experience. Like,
Oh my
how
God,
do you
bro.
just add it and move forward? We're open to continuing those discussions. We do see opportunities with these mini-map reworks to
Bro,
bring
Favela is
updates.
way better than like at
We're gonna
least
continue
3 or
analysis on
4 maps that are
like,
already in the
especially
pool.
maps that are not
The
hitting
players are
mark
actually as
competitively
Pepega.
for us, because we do want a larger pool so we can do the rotations more effectively.
the one thing that really came from that too is when we saw that data come in, we saw that 70%. I mean, that's a punch in the face. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we got to change our strategy here. And I remember the call we were in, and we were talking about it. We were with Max. Who's
Like,
the
I
vice
get
director, and we were
it.
going over,
I
like,
get
9
why they got
maps,
cold
they're not
feet.
moving. We need our 9
The
pro
problem
maps,
is that the
100%.
Siege community
We were
is
talking about-
genuinely just kind
Yeah.
of
I
stupid,
remember Chris at one point just said, well, if we
and they don't actually
add
know
them
what's
all in,
actually good.
and then I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Because like, and again, we're chasing that fun and that entertainment, and that's kind of the joy of it. We're mid-season. Let's have a little spike of, fun and change things up a little bit.
Okay. And I guess another question on the maps. Can you make it a map vote instead?
Mm.
Yeah, so it's a big change. I guess ultimately at the end of the day, if you look at it when we added new maps, we added Emerald Plains.
Yeah.
So this is now going back a long time ago, year 7, season 1. But we added Emerald Plains. It was the first map we had added in a long time, and it was just immediately banned and removed from the game.
Yeah, because the players are bad.
So would it have been voted on? Probably not. We then took a stance and said, going in with Nighthaven Labs, saying, well, guess what? It's a new map. For at least its launch season, it's now going to be featured, and you won't be able to ban it.
Good.
And what ended up happening is that Nighthaven's appreciation increased over time.
Yeah, because people actually had to play it and
had some
had to
different
learn
feelings
it.
about, sometimes
Like, that
we have to
matters.
say, this season, we want it to feel different. We don't want it to feel more of the same. We have a new map. Guess what? It's going to get played.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there are opportunities to find ways and get. the
Sometimes
community
you have
involved
to, like,
with decisions
rip
that
the
are being taken.
Band-Aid
Like,
off.
obviously, we're
But
listening
this
to
is the
surveys,
problem
but
with Siege
I'll
players.
go
It's
back
like, if
to-
you give them the
just- and
option
this is kind of off the
to
cuff,
just
I'll go
keep
back
the
to
Band-Aid on,
when
they're
we
gonna
launched
keep it on
that
because they're
Ash meta,
comfort like
there's
that.
3 different versions of Ash.
Like,
that
I
came
feel
out
like they
and
need to have a
that's
little
really
bit
fun.
more balls.
I would love for more opportunities to do stuff like this with the content in the game. So
Yeah.
maybe there are
But, yeah.
other things we can do, but we'll discuss and we'll figure out what those kind of touch points are. To
No,
get
I mean, the map
community
is
involved
fine
and
right
have
now. They just need
impact,
to have the
for
balls to
what's
put
showing
it
up
in.
this season.
All right. And
Like,
Also,
Favela is
one
way
last
better
thing,
than
recently we
Coastline,
did Neighbor
Border,
Fools Siege stuff.
Canal.
Yes.
This is so good.
It was kind of like we're having fun. Obviously, we're
missing
bringing
one. Fuck, I was thinking one.
casual
I mean, I
maps
think it's
and putting
better
it
than
into
EP too.
ultimately our most competitive playlist that we have, and it was pretty well received.
Like, it's
right?
not like I want
So
any of the
just
maps
because it's
out.
not
I'd
necessarily
like
ranked
having
doesn't
more
mean that
maps.
those maps need to
This
stay
is bigger
casual.
skill
I think we
check,
can find
which
other
is
ways
good.
to have fun.
Absolutely. Anything else? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, and then the final question that we had pre-submitted, then I'll go to the live questions. For Secure Boot, will it eventually be rolled out into ranked and the whole game? I think we kind of covered this last time, but let's reiterate again.
Yeah, so Secure Boot is definitely going to get rolled out. It's part of our R6 Shield Guard Secure platform, which includes Secure Boot, TPM 2.0, and many other aspects. But ultimately,
Secure Boot is
that's going to
good.
be launching for Legend Division. We're going to have that roll out. We're going to see how that goes, and then if we get big wins through that system, then yes, we'll be looking at where else do we bring it, including ranked. So that is a target for us, but it's not necessarily something that we will be doing in the short term. For now, it's exclusive to the Legend Division.
Okay.
It's like Chris mentioned, like when it comes to anti-cheat and protecting the game, this is an ongoing battle. We are never going to neglect tools that are available to us that allow us to secure the game. And that's really what it is. And we are constantly looking at new technologies and new things that we can do and implement in order to keep the game secure so we can all just enjoy the game.
Okay. We do have maybe still an elephant in the room here that we want to address here, and that's in terms of marketplace, right? And what's happening there. Maybe you can give a quick rundown of what the current status is.
Yeah, so Marketplace is still closed, and ultimately we're just looking at account security. It opened up a lot of different, exploits for players to be targeted for their accounts, for their inventories, for many different aspects, and we just need to make sure that we keep players safe. So at the end of the day, that's where the work is going right now. It's less about because we don't want it as part of the oh my
There goes our
proximity alert.
no more proximity alerts are going to come through.
But no, ultimately we're looking at account security, and when we feel that the account security efforts are matched up to the expectations we have for Marketplace, we'll be looking at reactivating.
And just looking to see if we have more questions come through. A lot of it was honestly about Marketplace. I think people are just wondering what's going to be happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of appetite for Marketplace, and I understand
Yeah,
that
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, for sure. Someone's asking about DMRs, and will they be updated or rebalanced?
We are actually looking at DMRs right now.
Okay.
So as I mentioned earlier, we were talking about like
Okay.
nerfing different things because these DMRs are definitely in the category of there needs to be adjustment there. And the question is, how do you do it without completely killing the weapon class? And
Yeah.
we have multiple avenues we're looking at and exploring, but that testing's happening right now. So it's been something we've talked to our pros in the pro workshops to get an understanding, because obviously DMR show up a lot more.
I like
at high
Pingu's
level
idea of like
lobbies,
giving them less
just by the
reserve
very nature
ammo.
of it. And that's the funny thing is when you look at the data, their pick rate is like substantially smaller than like full ARs and stuff like this, but just by the nature of the beast, these you have to hit your shots, and you're probably seeing it in STL. Like I'm sure people are running them, but ultimately we are looking at them and trying to find essentially the best solution to keep them have controlling the space, just like an operator, but within the armory. So
I would say, like, also when you mentioned the bouncing.
That's fair though.
You know, looking at we don't look at just percentages. We look at.
Oh, no.
I feel like that's
the
mostly
MMR,
like a
the
really
play
high
rate
elo
within
or
those
comp
different,
thing.
You know, ultimately there's a bell curve. So when you go to the higher MMR, it is a smaller percentage of players because it's just a bell curve. That's naturally how things will work. But we take that very seriously. Like we're not discounting it because it's a small percentage. In fact, that's the top of our game. So we do pay close attention to what's happening there.
Right. And I think we've mentioned in a couple other things, like whenever we see, let's say, like SIs going on, whatever is happening on SI is going to show up in the game at all, like multiple ranks, much further down than you'd expect, just because people start to mimic the strats that they see. And they're like, okay, well, if they're running this DMR or whatever, I got to learn it. And then it can amplify the impact in the overall game. But the point being, it's definitely something we're monitoring and adjusting. So regardless of how big any issue is, we still recognize it as something we want to address.
Okay. We have some more fun questions, let's say, coming in. Will we see night maps? Can we talk about that at all? I mean, it's just been asked a lot.
Yeah.
No.
I don't hate the
one
idea
thing
of like
I've
making
said,
having
just in general,
a speed
when it comes to
modifier if
Siege
you use
is,
DMRs
we did a
either.
huge update for
Right, like you get like
Just
minus
overhaul their
movement
entire lighting
speed
system,
if you're
but that
running a
system's
DMR.
controlled.
That's
This is
also
something
like a
that we're
fair
doing.
change,
We're
yeah.
improving it in the back end for just development purposes, like behind the scenes development, making sure it's easier for our.
I don't think that's
our
terrible.
teams
Yeah,
to
like
use, our artists to
LMGs,
use.
yeah.
You can see that with the modernized maps. You'll see like just the
Because then you're not
so much
touching
more
the
rich
gun
with everything going
itself.
on. But it's
Which
an
I think is
evolution of
clever.
tech, and we have to continue to make those evolutions.
It's kind of like with the ADS
So
speed changes that they
investments
did
in
with like the
Siege, investments
scopes,
in
where
where
like
we can
you get an
tweak the game
incentive
are
to
things
not
that we're
use an
always
ACOG,
talking about.
right? So now you get like an
That's like
incentive to not run a DMR if you want to play like faster or whatever.
Don't worry, I'm
I
calling
kinda like
myself
that.
on it. It's fine.
No worries. I mean, look, we got. I mean, we were talking about balancing and stuff like that. People are asking a 1.5 scope. Is that like-
1.5, yeah. So how do I? So 1.5 is a really interesting one because it had all the benefits with none of the negatives, and that's one of the things we talk about in Siege is that there's pros and cons to every action you take, and there's pros and cons to everything you bring in your gear. So if you bring the DMR, you better hit your shots.
Yeah.
And as we can tell, like not all players are at that skill, so they'll stay fully automatic weapons.
Yeah, the Siege community is.
But that's the same thing. Like depending on what you're bringing in the field, there has to be the repercussions for doing so because the consequence is kind of in the nature of Siege. The 1.5 really didn't have that. It just was. It was the joy of everything. And I'm gonna admit, I love the thing too. Like this is not like not liking it, but finding how we can make comfort there, because there is a very real comfort conversation about that, especially like honestly when we talk about console players, they sit 12 feet 8 feet away from their TV and stuff like this, so having the proper magnification, it makes a big difference. We are constantly reevaluating different sites being the actual attachment, and looking into new ways in which we can enhance that experience in the gunplay overall. But again, you can't have all the things, because if you have all the things on one thing, you choose nothing else, and nothing else has purpose. So we have to keep that in mind.
Okay. Another question on weapon balancing. Will
I
the
don't
SMG
want-
12 be nerfed, updated, or balanced?
Okay.
Can I just say
You say
yes
anything.
to all those?
Okay.
Because it will. Yeah, we're looking at it right now. Like,
Okay.
Not in this patch, but it's definitely a focus.
yeah. Because
Okay,
again,
yeah, fair.
listening to the community and looking at
It's
this
it's
stuff,
come up more recently as
no,
a
not-
topic,
I'll
so
say
they might
yes,
not
but
have
you
been
don't know
able to
which one
jump on
of
it
those I
fast
said
enough.
yes.
But hopefully, like season 2 with Dokkaebi remaster coming in.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. There's a lot of stuff coming in now. Again, I don't
It's
know if
always
you
good
can
to
say
just
anything
know
that
that they're
you
like
can hint at,
aware
Josh,
of like
but,
problematic
Someone's
things.
asking, when are we getting Nox, Zofia, and Yana buffs?
That I'm not going to spoil.
Yeah, I
like,
figured.
no. See, the funny thing with there are a few levers left to play with on these operators and to take a look in. But I'll be honest, if we get to the point where those levers aren't making the needle move the way we need to, then it falls into that new kind of like like the rework territory.
Right.
And I think that's honestly like I can see that conversation in the community where people are like, oh, this needs to be a remaster or rework this. And the reality is we want to try a couple more levers before we go that far.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that's how
valid.
much care we have for each one of our operators, that we don't want any of them to be questioned for their
Valid.
position in the game. We want them to be like, yeah, they're awesome at XYZ. I love that they're in my roster. I'm super pumped that I have learned to play them. Because again, if you have a deep operator roster and you can just swap through, target ban me all day long, it's not going to matter. You're going to run out of bans, right? Exactly. So it's and that's ultimately the goal there.
As long as each operator like owns their own little space, right? I
Right.
guess is the point. Okay, cool. And then another
Oh
question here.
my
Could we
God.
see secure area or hostage come to unranked or have a weekly highlight playlist?
Ooh.
Oh, well, that's interesting. So we announced at the SI that we were looking into, where does hostage fit ultimately? Security is in that same conversation.
Okay.
Looking globally at the 3 game modes that we have today, like right now they're just lumped into quick.
Like,
match,
yeah, I
and
don't
you have an
disagree with
option
them.
to
Like,
kinda turn them on or
they have a
off.
lot of valid
Most people
takes
turn them
on
off, and
things.
then
It's
they
just I
forget
wish they
what their
worked a little
settings
bit
were.
faster
And
with a
then
lot of
after
other
that, they just
things.
go in the quick match. And
Like,
then
I think
bomb.
Ubisoft do a good
Trying to
job with
highlight
the
those
changes
modes
they
because there
do.
are core modes
I
that
just
have been
wish they
around for a
did
long
it
time,
more, like
Hostage
more of
is
it, and
dear
I
to
wish
my
they
own
did
personal
it
heart because
like
it was
faster.
the reveal trailer, right? Like they were playing hostage.
Right. Yeah.
So, trying to see if we can kind of capture the magic of those modes and try to highlight them. We talked about having fun with the Siege Cup. Like that could be a potential way, but we are looking at ways that we can support those modes more than we are today. But I think at the end of the day, and we learned this through Dual Front, is that those modes need to be played. So how can we highlight those modes? How do we give them the space that they need to succeed? And make sure that we can service them. And what we've heard from players, we actually did some workshops recently, is that at the end of the day, there needs to be some kind of competitive edge with these game modes, or else they just kind of fall flat.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking at that more directly of like, okay, how can we kind of support that in the future? But we have nothing to announce today.
Okay. Still, go ahead.
Well, I think the ultimate, like everything Chris said, is like bang on. And then the reality is we recognize that bomb is the central pillar of Siege.
Right.
Like there's no denying that. But hostage and security very much could be supporting around that central pillar, and that's honestly where we're looking into, because we want to have.
I'm
that
not opposed to the
flexibility
idea
within
of
the
just
ecosystem.
having other modes that are like, if they can make it competitive.
Looking through more
I don't
questions
mind
here.
it.
This one's kind of always a hot topic, so I guess I'll ask it for you guys since you keep on asking. Are you adding ACOGs back to Defenders?
No.
I don't
No.
know if you probably can't answer that directly at all.
Just say
but-
no,
So,
Joshua.
I'll say this. I'll say that the point has been, like, obviously, like it's been a point that we've talked about for, well, it's come up a bunch. It's not falling on deaf ears, if that makes sense. This is something we are actively listening to and making sure that we're finding ways in which we can do this. I mentioned we're looking at sites, so
Yeah.
I know I'm being
Like-
vague.
No, it's okay.
No.
I mean, you can't always say exactly, but we're looking at it. See, there you go. I think that's the point. And I'm looking through to see if we got more questions coming in.
It's not about it falling on deaf ears.
Not
It's
seeing-
wrong
I'll give
mouth.
People like a couple of minutes to see if they have anything else they want to ask. but,
Ignore
anything else
that
you wanna add on
person.
the topics we discussed today that maybe you feel we might have missed or.
I think honestly, like just how much players enjoy these conversations, and the types of topics that they'd want to see. Like we have
yeah.
lots of developers here on site that we can be talking to, talking about, whether it's the universe and the lore, talking about, our menu structures, talking about.
Like, I feel like they're so
anything that
scared
they'd
to
like
just
know about,
say,
the game.
like,
obviously Josh
no,
and I are always
that's
available.
not-
but, there's
like
other
it
developers
provides
there
bad
here that can
gameplay that
add,
we don't want in
a lot
Siege.
more insight
Like,
into game development.
Sometimes
or
it's
Siege
fine to just
development, if you will.
put your foot
So,
down and say
just
like,
hearing about the
no, we
topics that
don't
players
like what
want
it does to the
hear
game.
with these live streams, I think that would be interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, guys, keep your messages coming in. I think we're going to wrap up now, but thank you so much for tuning in to this community checkpoint. We will have another one very soon into the future. We're going to continue covering player protection. It's going to be an important focus for our community checkpoints. And, of course, other topics like Chris was saying. Anything else you guys want to hear about, please let us know. But for now, we are signing off. Thank you so much for coming out and hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know, chat. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, man. What the hell? I feel, I don't know. I was not expecting to come out of this and like feel like we're moving in the wrong direction, which I feel like saying that we might get ACOGs back on defense. They might consider 1.5, like the map pool is like stagnated and bleh. And then like the balancing changes, there was like one change that was exciting. Like the balancing changes weren't bad, but again, there wasn't anything that was like, oh wow, okay, cool, this is hype. I'm excited to hop on Tuesday or whatever when it comes out, right? I'm not that. I don't know. I don't feel very strongly to what I just saw, to be honest. Not in a good way, at least. They have been moving in a good direction over the last like year, IMO. But like this was weird. I did not like it. It's just vague answers because they can't answer directly. But that's the thing. I think like it might just be them like not wanting to say it out directly because they're scared of like how some people will react to them saying just flat out no. That's true. But like, damn, I don't know. I don't like the like politician answers type thing that they're doing. Guess out of 10? I don't know. This was not good, Diamo. Like, the only thing I could think of that like got me like excited here was the Roara thing. Anything else here like either got me like less excited for future stuff or I don't know, a little hesitant even. I don't feel good about what I just saw, to be honest. Like I feel like they're listening to the wrong part of the Siege audience right now. I feel like they're listening too much to like the Gunner Andes, and just kind of like conceding to them. Like instead of making the game like what it's supposed to be, they're like, okay, what might give us like the largest player base or whatever, which is like yeesh. But which doesn't work. Right, like they tried that. They tried making it like gunner friendly, and it was horrible. Josh looked pretty clear on the 1.5x though. No, he literally said that like it's not falling on deaf ears. Like they're still like they're thinking about things and like what it does with the game or whatever. Yeah, he was hesitant. Like what he should have said on the 1.5 was like, no, it was terrible for the game. We can't bring that back. It was not healthy for the game. Yeah, nah. They're scared too much to move the meta. Yeah, it's annoying because most of the balance changes I don't feel like move the meta anywhere. It's just kind of it's just gonna be the same. I don't know, Grim. I don't know about that. I don't know. They're probably too scared to say no, but probably plan not to add them back anyways. That would be at least good, but it doesn't help me, who is like I want Siege to keep focusing on like making sure that it's a tactical shooter and not like an arcade shooter. Like it doesn't help inspire confidence in me. For them. If anything, it does the opposite, because now I'm worried that they're gonna listen to the arcade shooter Andes, which they already did with the map pool, right? Like with the map pool, they clearly listened to the arcade shooter Andes, the default Andes. They did modify 8 operators, but like the modifications were like not that big. The only real operator that got like a significant modification was Raura. Like the Jackal changes is still just not better than like not good enough to like go up with like Deimos or like Lion or Dokkaebi. Like there's just better roam clear operators, significantly better. So, and then like the clash change, like 5 more seconds. Yeah, that's nice at like the end of a round. Like, but again, like it's not gonna make it like, oh, I want to play clash now because their charge lasts 5 more seconds, right? Like it's just quality of life stuff, and like quality of life is nice, but it doesn't get me excited. Smoke getting a shield is also, again, it's nice, but it's like that one is like, okay, I could see myself like, okay, I want to play Smoke Shield today. Fair. Like, that one's a little exciting. But like, that was it. I do like the Grim change. But like, the Grim change is also like a nerf. So it's not like I'm gonna jump on like, wow, I want to play Grim today. Right? Because it is a nerf, right? Yeah. It would have been fun if they like... What they could have done, like, if we're really talking about like ACOGs on defense, what they could have done as like an exciting change is they could have given like another operator like the TCSG or something similar. Like I talked like about Castle, like maybe getting a DMR or a TCSG. Like if Castle had TCSG or like SR25 or something like that, like not necessarily like a good DMR, but like, yeah. I feel like that would be exciting for Castle, because Castle is one of the operators that have really like been kind of like short-sighted. Because he lost ACOG. So if he had like a DMR or a TCG, that would be kind of nice, I think. But like that's the thing. Like I feel like they didn't do anything, because that would have been like, whoa, Castle got this. I want to hop on and play Castle all day today, because that would get me excited, right? I would get excited if I saw that change. And also like the Frost change. 10 more seconds if you pull yourself out of a frost mat. Like, you're basically more punished if you pull yourself out, but like, yeah, it's still essentially the same. We're talking of like what, like 16% increase or whatever. It's kind of minor, and like most of the time you're already dead if you're pulling yourself out of a frost mat like that. You're basically one shot. You're cooked. Yeah. It's a meaningful frost buff. Yeah, but you won't really see it affect that much. You won't see it affect that much. Oh, that would be horrible. Grimjack, if you couldn't shoot while vaulting. What about the Thunderbird change? Healing is not good in Siege. They could literally make Thunderbird full heal you. I still wouldn't want to pick her. Healing is just not that good. So the Thunderbird change is whatever. It's a nothing burger. It's affecting a useless operator. I don't remember. What there was one more change. I know they made the glass thing last a little bit longer. I mean, that again, that's nice, but it's nothing that gets me like, oh wow, I want to hop on and play glass today. Yeah. Healing is strong at lower ranks, which is why they buffed it. Yeah, but at least for me, it personally doesn't like affect the game for me. So it's like, it's not something that will excite for me. Which most of the time, like balancing, like it is content for the people who play the game more frequently, right? So for me, it's disappointing. Stronger on attack. It's still not that great, Theo. They could have easily buffed Sophia. I don't know, maybe. Yana was another one they could have done something with, gadget-wise. I think we're getting patch notes either today or like maybe Monday. Usually they drop them like a day before the patch. This patch probably comes out Tuesday, so we'll probably get patch notes Monday. Yeah, people are silly like that, huh? But that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they're listening to the wrong people, and that has me a little worried. I feel like the seasonal survey has just gone like hogged by like Gunner Andes, and it's. We need to make sure that the next time there's like a seasonal survey, we need to actually make sure that like people who want Siege to be a tactical shooter fill it in, because I don't know what the hell happened now. It does not feel good. I did not feel good watching this. I did not enjoy watching this. I am actually a little troubled, and I don't know. And yeah, not. Yeah, I was hoping to be like, wow, because this season has already been kind of meh. I'm gonna be honest, right? Like I've said it on stream. Like besides Snake, we didn't really get that much content-wise this season. And then we got the minor balancing patch, and people were like, okay, it's just a minor balancing patch, right? Like, you can't expect that much. And okay, fair. I'm not gonna expect much. And like, oh, the mid-season balancing patch is gonna be actually big. And then it's this, and it's not really anything. Like, I'll get on and I'll play Raora, and I can probably make a video on Raora, but I can't really make a video on anything else. Nothing else is significant enough to be like, oh wow, like this is a new strategy that I can, right? Like that's also the thing. Like I'm obviously thinking in my head, like, what kind of strategies can I do? Like, does any sort of setup that we do change, right? Are we now going to slot in this operator because this change happened? No. Like, this is not gonna change one of the strategies to like, now we're gonna run smoke here instead of someone else because he now has a shield. Like, I don't really see myself making that change. We're not gonna play Thunderbird. We're not gonna start playing Clash in more spots she already was being played just because she's 5 more seconds, right? Like, that's the issue. It's not changing anything. Like, nothing changes, and that's kind of the problem. Like, I wish they had, and it's annoying because Tenfold Pursuit was amazing. Like, that Tenfold Pursuit should be the textbook of like what they should be doing. Like, the season launched with like 4 or 5 operators that were all like felt new and exciting to play. And then mid-season we got stuff like the Thorn rework, which was fucking awesome. Love that. And like, yeah, Raora will do that, but like, there was still more than just the Thorn thing too. There were like some gun swaps and everything that like added like fluidity to loadouts and everything, and I like that. And there's stuff that they could do right now too. Like, we mentioned like Osa getting a Bailiff, or yeah, like Castle maybe getting a TCSG or SR25. Like, there are things that they could be doing if they wanted to. But I don't know whether they're I feel like they're playing it so damn safe. And also, I do feel like they're listening to the wrong people. For sure. I do feel like they're listening to the wrong people. Raora buff is not near Thorn buff level. It's the closest thing we got. At the very least. It's the closest thing. But yeah, I would have wanted like an alarm when an Aurora gets opened. That would have been nice. Yeah. They ran out of gas of riding Snake. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, again, the only new thing we got this season really was Snake. So this season was already kind of mid in terms of content. And I was hoping that the mid-season reinforcement was actually going to like hype it up a little bit more. And like make sure that the second half of the season was like more hype. But it really put the mid in mid-season reinforcement. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen, like, I don't know what you guys think, or like how other people have reacted, but like on socials, but like I'm not really. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I was gonna be excited to hop on Tuesday and play this, but I'm not. I'll play the Aurora thing. That's it. The Aurora thing is nice. But that's the only thing that got me excited. They're scared of generating bad publicity. Yeah, but like now it's like becoming the opposite. Like, they're scared of generating any publicity. Right? Like, regardless if it's good or bad. They're just scared of doing anything. They're just so hesitant, I feel like. Raora is 10 meter longer range. They close faster for allies, and they open slower for enemies. So like, it takes like a full 6 seconds before it's like fully open if a defender opens, which is nice. Like, you can actually use it for like flank watch better now. Oh yeah, she spawns in with all 4 as well. Yeah, they're not gonna generate over the round, which is nice. But yeah. I don't know. Meh. Meh. To go with the gun or anything, the TTK in the game is at max 0.4174 seconds to minimum. Yeah, well, yeah, I actually think that's good though. I do think Siege's TTK is actually good. It actually keeps the game more tactical. And ironic, like this is something I learned over the years of playing like FPS games. But like the longer the TTK is, the more it actually focuses on mechanical skill, because that's when it becomes like tracking and everything and yada yada yada. Shorter TTK is actually better to keep it more tactical, because you have to focus on outsmarting the enemy and getting the drop on them instead of just tracking them better across a longer firefight. Lower TTK is actually better. Yeah. Lower TTK is actually better. 100%. IMO. Well, which you'd think the opposite, but yeah, no, it's actually better that way. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There might still be some things in the patch note that they didn't announce here, right? We have to keep that in mind. There could technically be more. I'm coping. But yeah. They only said they 8 operator changes, but there might be other changes in the patch note. But they did say that they're not touching DMRs or SMG12 yet. So that's not in, at least. Yeah. High TTK is actually bad. That's when you get into like Warzone, like, yeah, called the Battlefield. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll see on Monday when we get the actual patch notes. But yeah, we'll have to see. This didn't exactly inspire confidence in what they're doing with me, and I really hope I'm wrong with that, because this felt like we're moving in the wrong direction, and that's a bit yikes. That's a bit yikes. I sincerely hope that's not the case. I really do. I really hope it's not the case. Yeah, I don't know.